So here's the thing. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to label this one as episode 3 because, I didn't label the last one. Anyway, here's the thing. I was sat down the other day and I noticed that Jackass 4 had finally come up on Netflix and I was watching it. And there was something that someone did in it that reminded me that me and a couple of my friends used to do all this Jackass stuff and we were called Almost Famous. So today I'm going to take you back on a little journey of my so-called Jackass days with two of my friends. Um, First guy was called Luke, or AK Roger Bonghole, and just for this podcast's sake, the second guy was PB. So we had a few other people that used to join in with us. There was a guy called Jay and Rob, James, who, funny enough, wanted to be James Bond. Um, yeah, he was a bit screw loopy. My brother Deck, cousin Mark, and a kid from the village called Jake, really. So yeah, that was basically the guys that used to do it with me. Um, and this is just going to be a story of how it all started. So at this point, me and my friends were basically hanging out in the park and you know, doing a few stupid things, like going down these mini mounds and stuff in I don't know, on our bikes because we were so hardcore, and going down on our skateboards but falling off halfway through. And there was a bin that I've actually got the video of the bin. So what I'm going to do is find that and put that on my Instagram for you. But yeah, I got inside this bin and I just rolled down a hill on it because why not? It was fun at the time, I suppose. And when it snowed, there was a big hill behind the park that we used to chill out in. And yeah, we used to take our trucks off and whatnot and just go down there on our skateboards, basically, fly off and hurt ourselves. And one day we just, phones weren't really a thing then, but the phones started coming out with cameras on it, and we just started recording on that. And a few of the on of us had video cameras, and I've probably got some stuff on my old video camera. I have to find it out and try and put it on Instagram for you guys. But yeah, it was nuts. So basically, Almost Famous started, which is our group, about 2006 when we were all about 14. Funny enough, that is when I first saw Jackass on MTV. I showed it to my two friends, PB and Luke, and we decided to just record ourselves doing loads of random stuff and stupid things. And yeah, I guess today I'm just going to go through a few of them with you. So we recorded most things, most days. We were recording after school, during school, school holidays. Some of them were stupid and some of them were just outrageous. When I think back, I'm like, why on earth did we do that? Honestly, oh no, it was just, even thinking about some of the stuff now, I'm like, I was stupid. I could have really hurt myself. And I did on a couple of them, I'm not going to lie, which I'll tell you about in a bit. But anyway, a couple of years passed after we did that start off. And yeah, we decided to finally put some of the stuff on YouTube and make our own Jackass kind of show. We had the whole thing where it's like, hi, I'm Niall, and this is the tree jump, which I'll get to a bit later. Before I go any further, though, actually quickly, I do want to say you'll never find any of the videos, as they all unfortunately were taken down from YouTube when the copyright strike thing happened, which sucks because we had so much content on there and it was all so fun. I can remember some of the videos and some of the stuff. So I spoke to my mate Luke about some of the things that we did, and he kind of refreshed my memory. But yeah, nonetheless, anyway. Yeah, so we decided to do it, and honestly, all of our friends loved it. We had a massive friendship group. I was part of a football and cricket club. They loved it. My other two friends had a big friendship group in Bournemouth with all the guys, and they loved it. Yeah, Bournemouth's a town near where we grew up, so yeah. But anyway, we were just nuts. I can remember Luke, myself, usually did the stuff that was going to either hurt us, or make us sick. And PB did a lot of, more relaxed, gross stuff, which is totally fine, because it was a good balance, to just have me and Luke being absolutely bat crazy, and then PB just, just doing the more relaxed stuff, which is nice, which was nice. So, nonetheless, let's get on to the top things, the top worst things that Luke did. So, I can't remember what it was exactly, whether it was hot sauce or soy sauce. It was something like the hot sauce snooter or the soy sauce snooter or something like that, and it was bloody brutal. Like, it doesn't sound that bad, but basically, what he did is he got some soy sauce or hot sauce on a plate and just went to town on it, like the wasabi snooter from Jackass. This was before Jackass the movie came out, I think he did this, but he just went for it. He just got his nose down and just went and snorted it all up. And I've never like felt so grossed out by watching a video. It's because he basically instantly gagged and almost honked up, and it was just not nice. But that's something, to be fair to him, I don't think I would have done. I'm just gonna put that out there. There's no way I think I would have shot hot sauce up my nose or soy sauce up my nose. Not a chance. Not a chance. Next thing I can remember him doing was something called like wall versus bush, or like the bush crash mat, or something like that. But he jumped off a wall which was like 6 to 7 foot in height, and there was like a 2 foot gap in between the wall and the bush that he was going to jump into, but it was like a gravel path. And I remember he just landed and his ass just went straight into some stinging nettles. It was either that or like a bit of the bush stuck up and went up his butt. And yeah, he went mental, and I was just laughing so hard. He was like in so much pain, but I just couldn't help but laugh at him because it was just funny to see your mates in pain back in the day. They're definitely the two worst things I think he's done. I mean, they don't sound great or like bad, but they actually, being there and seeing that happen was just like mental. I mean, he did do some really brutal stuff like jump out of trees, like myself, and get hit with things. I do remember something with a grater, like on his knee or something. But give credit to Luke, he was mental like myself, and he did all the editing, to the videos, and he did a really good job with them as well. So yeah, just shout out to Luke. Thanks for doing all of the editing on our Almost Famous videos back in the day, dude. So PB was crazy, and he did some pretty unspeakable things, which I won't mention here. He did do this one thing, like over a fence. I guess there was like, I don't know, like a foot gap maybe, where he had to jump over a fence onto the main road. Not like there was loads of cars that went through where we grew up, but yeah, he like jumped over the fence basically. And I was thinking to myself, when I went past it the other day, that's kind of stupid, because it's like a 4 foot drop onto concrete, and if he caught himself, he was gonna absolutely faceplant the concrete. And he used to go down head first on like skateboards, like through country roads and stuff, and we used to have a lot of hills where we lived. But even then, thinking about that, if a car come around the corner, that's like the end of him. But he just didn't care. He just went for it. And it's just, yeah, he was crazy in his own way, PB. But yeah, let's go on to me then, I guess. So, as Pritchard was known in Dirty Sanchez, it was also me. I was known as Mr. 50-50. I always said it'll either hurt or it won't. Best case scenario is it looks real bad but doesn't hurt. Worst case scenario is it looks bad and it really, really hurts. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about probably my third worst thing that I did for myself that I can remember, and it hurt like hell. So this was called the tree jump. So I jumped out of this tree from like 10, 11 foot high, something like that. And the whole point of it was basically for me to land on a branch below that was never meant to support my weight. And it was going to break, and it would semi-break my fall, and everything would be great. It would look bad, sound bad, but I would be alright, inevitably. Oh, no. It could not have gone any worse. I completely missed the branch that I was supposed to land on, and just fell through the tree, like all the little branches, and landed below on this like mini mound hump thing. But I landed straight on my shoulder, and I cannot tell you how much pain I was in. I think I totally blacked out for like I must have blacked out for like a good 2-3 minutes. I just had no idea where I was, and Luke was really worried about me. Um, yeah, in the long run, we actually went to the doctors and they tested me for concussion, but I was fine. We had doctors where we lived, quite close by. I was all good, but jumping out of the tree from about 10, 11 foot and trying to land on a branch but completely missing the branch was probably not my brightest moments, and I put that down to a lot of my shoulder pain that I have now. Um, yeah. So I think the sickest thing I've ever done, as in like stupidest, one of the stupidest for me, really, was the thing called the water boy. And I heard online back in the day, because I don't know if you guys remember, like, it was always like all these challenges, like the Sprite and banana challenge. If you eat a banana and down some Sprite, you're going to throw up projectile. And I was like, oh, that's a load of rubbish. But I heard that if you drink a lot of water in a short space of time, it's meant to make you sick. And I kind of didn't believe it. So, yeah, you guess what I did next? I drank a lot of water. And I'm talking like 3 of those 5 litre bottles very quickly. And I didn't make it through all of them. Not at all. Drank about 2 and a bit, maybe. And it made me horrifically sick. Like, I mean, like, I was projectiling, and it was so bad that, like we recorded it at the park, and the next day we went up the park, and there was still just this pool of water where I'd, like, honked up. That's how bad it was. And I can just remember, like, feeling so full from drinking the water, and that's the most I've ever been sick in one sitting, but my stomach hurt so much the next day. And I couldn't even watch it back on the videos, like when we had it on YouTube. Like, that's the one part I always had to skip. But it wasn't until I was thinking about it after I did it, and I was like, I'm really stupid, because you can drown yourself that way. And I'm quite lucky I didn't do that. Otherwise, I would have, you know, I would have deprived the world of this podcast, and you never would have heard it if it went south for me. But it didn't, and I'm here to talk about it. Another stupid thing I did was called skin versus pin. And this one pretty much speaks for itself. I got a safety pin, burnt the end up, so to make it like sterile and not dirty. Which is the only smart thing I did with it. I put it that way. But yeah, I then put it through the skin on the back of my hand. And I don't mean like the top layer, like you do when you sew. I mean like I pinched my hand and I shoved a neat safety pin all the way through it. And again, why I did that, I don't know, but it was just funny at the time. And I guess that was my pain threshold. I've got a very high pain threshold. Some of the other things we did were insane. And to be fair, some of the guys that came in and did some of our stuff was stupid. I can remember we did like a cup test, like on like what Jackass did. Do you remember with like the Johnny Knoxville? It's not a shout out, but he was wearing this cup, as in like to protect your junk from like when you're playing cricket and stuff, or like baseball out there, I guess, or American football. And anyway, he'd get like a bowling ball thrown at a paintball. We kind of didn't have all of that equipment, so we had like a cricket ball being thrown at us, which when it missed, it hurt like hell on your legs. Um, I can remember, but I can't remember if it was me or Luke, but we were sat there with our legs wide open, and we got a cricket bat and we swung it like a golf club into the box. I've got a feeling that might have been me, because I can remember screaming in absolute agony, or it was that I was laughing and Luke was screaming in absolute agony. Either way, totally stupid again. And I mean, if it was me, the box obviously worked, because I've got a daughter, so, you know. Speaking about cricket, I can remember a guy for the cricket club just bowled balls at us as well. We just asked him to, with just helmets on, and we just took the shots from like these rubber cricket balls. Can also remember me thinking it would be a great idea to lay down on the floor and have him bowl directly onto the helmet. Again, stupid, because if the helmet broke and split, that would have gone very south for me. But again, I'm fine. I'm here. I'm telling you these stories, so I'm not like saying that you guys should go out and, you know, do stupid things, because you shouldn't do that unless you want to. I mean, I'm not your boss. If you want to jump out of a tree into a bush, you go ahead. We also had this this rope game we used to play called tug of owl war, like owl or something like that. And basically what we did is we noosed both ends, so like when tension's on it, it gets tighter, and you put it around your ankle, and at a certain point you'd fall over and it would go tight, and the whole point was it would hurt your ankle, but you got to pull the other person across like the middle line. And I can remember my brother doing it with, I think it was a guy called Jack, and they ran, and they both did it, and they both were just in so much agony on the floor. But I can also remember Jake doing it, and we tied it to a bike, and he just went flying down the hill, like, with the guy. Like, it looked like one of those scenes from the Western where they lasso someone and they're taking him behind on the horse. It was funny. But yeah, that's pretty much all the outrageous stuff I used to get up to when I was younger, in my jackass days. There was some pranks that we did as well, you know, like Knock a Door Run, which I'll talk about in a later episode. We put off the Bowls Green people quite a lot as well. Like when they were bowling, like all the old people, we'd get like an air horn and we'd like blow it as they were about to bowl it, or we'd get up there and like just cheer them on like it was a football game, and they used to get really annoyed at us. Did a thing called garden gnomes. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but again, I'll go into that in another episode because that's all about my pranks episode that we used to do when we were younger. But yeah, we'll go through all of that on the next one then. So, long story short, we did a lot of videos, made some decent views on YouTube, lost it all, gave up, grew up, and yeah, I still think I would do some of that stuff now, but I'm also like 31, and I'm not sure my body could take half the stuff I used to do when I was like 17, 18. I've also got one more thing I want to say before I go. I did do another show with my co-host for the other podcast I do, called Two Men in One Ball, called El Toro Tom, but it never kind of made it to the heights that Almost Famous did. It was kind of like we were going for a Viva La Bam kind of thing, where we just did loads of stupid stuff. But yeah, I shall definitely talk about all of that next week. Thanks for sticking around again, guys, and girls, obviously. Appreciate you all being here. If you could share and like, it would be amazing, because podcasts live and die by word of mouth. Make sure you rate me 5 stars, and I'll speak to you all next week. Peace out.